From last week's race in Iowa, the picture shifted big in the Integrity Octane Series, and tonight for the 13th round of the season in Kansas Speedway, Tornado Alley, as we've said before, it is ready for one hell of a show. As it stands, qualifying, it's underway, and we got 3 minutes remaining to settle the score and see who comes off on the top spot of the grid. Joe Yates going to be provisional pole at the moment by 28 thousandths of a second. As we get it going, it's going to be Nick Tarbuck in second, and then Don Stevenson in third. We're just gearing up here and now. The 87 looks quick. It's going to be Tarbuck done with his run. So is the 87 and so is the 47. Brad Patton still has one more lap in him as Jacob Fife goes to the top of the board by 16 thousandths of a second. Seth Well immediately takes it away and the race for pole position, it is on. That time by Seth Well makes himself the leader, but Brad Patton, it looks like he'll be done and done with one time lap only. He still is in seventh, not bad at all. Could be a bit more improvement if he's had the opportunity to go for the second and final time lap. That won't be the case though. Bobby Ross going to be done and done with his run. 19th spot jumps up into 12th for the man in that number 44 machine. Boomer Logan going to be in 15th. Majanas going to be in 16th, and John Steele will be coming down a pit road in position number 17. Sam Nito going to be 18th. Ryan Farrell 19th. Is a big jump for Sam Nito. Takes him all the way up into second, and Sam Nito chasing a checker flag once again this season, and it's been all about Tom Wetmore, but as it stands, he is not in the field once again. Only two multi-time winners this season, and that comes for a reason. The reason comes actually after last week's race at Iowa. Seth Well was originally scored as the race winner. However, due to a penalty regarding jumping the final restart, Well was dropped to last man on the lead lap, and Nick Tarbuck scored his first victory of the season last week at Iowa. However, it'll be all for naught if he doesn't back it up with a good one here. Seth Well is already on pole, but Nick is not too far behind. Caden going to be in the chat. I believe that's Caden Bailey. Thank you for stopping by. Great to have you aboard. And Sam Nito still in second here. In qualifying is Brad Patton in eighth on pit road, and Cody Smith alongside Kevin Matz are both still taking laps of practice. 134 laps in the main event. Tom Wetmore's made his way in, and he's currently in the 16th spot. The most dominant driver all season long had to claw his way into the top 5 many times last week, only to be denied late in the show. He's been quick, and he's one of the guys to keep an eye out for. That is for certain. You're going to have to keep a watch on the 51 as we get this one going. 40 seconds remain. Up high, Tom Wetmore goes, takes it down to the apron, and the apron oh so effective here in Kansas Speedway. Let's see how it works out for Tom Wetmore all the way up to position number 9. So Wetmore looking to start in the top 10. He looks to be in there with about 30 seconds remaining in qualifying, so safe enough to almost guarantee a spot up front. It's going to be now Alan Rawell on his way, but with 17 seconds remaining, not quite sure what he'll be able to do. Slowly limping it out of pit road, and it looks like that's going to be it for qualifying, meaning the number 88 of Seth Well is the top man on the board as qualifying concludes here in the Kansas Speedway. It is over, and we're going to be on to our final warm-up session of the night. 5 minutes before the race gets going, and now it's time to bring up your starting grid for tonight's event. Seth Well, as it stands, going to be the pole sitter, and after a contentious race last time we went at it at Iowa, he certainly wants a rebound, looking for a second win of the season, and he's hoping to keep it this time by Kansas. It is a much different track from Iowa, longer, and it is a bit quicker. It's going to be a bit harder to break away, so even if it does get a runaway start, these drivers will have a chance to catch them right back. As you can see, the track now being occupied. More and more drivers going to come into the D-shaped oval. Qualifying, it is over, and any last moves they can make, they'll have to make them now before the main event gets into procession. So without further ado, let's get right into it. This will be your starting grid for the 13th round of the season here in the Integrity Octane Series. Welcome to Kansas Speedway, and the man who welcomes you up front, it's the front row, led by Seth Well, position number 1 with a 31.299, alongside Sam Nito in the second spot with a 31.343. Position number 3 going to be Jacob Fife, 31.39 for him, and Ross Cato makes it up into the 4th spot. He's been wicked quick as of recent, not bad at all. Ross Cato going to be 4th with a 31.4 4:05. Next up on the order, going to be Caitlin Haight, two-time winner of the season, back in action. She'll be in 5th with a 31.406, and right beside her, outside of row number 3, going to be Joe Yakes in the 87, 6th spot on the roster. 41, he's not going to be there. It's a 31.454 with Nick Tarbuck in 7th with a 31.477. Your defending winner is going to be next to Don Stevenson, 4,000ths of a second. Separate row 4. Stevenson has a 31.481, and Brad Patton, 2,000ths back on row 5, has himself in 9th with a 31.483, and Tom Wetmore's in 10th with a 31.506. From there, going to be Nicholas Ward in the position number 11. 97 machine has it there with a 31.513. Colin Gimmin, 12th with a 31.547. Cody Smith going to be there with Kevin Matz, 13th and 14th, and it's going to be Smith with a 31.585 and Matz with a 31.624. Bobby Ross going to be in 15th in the 44 machine, 31.63, and right beside him going to be Guillermo Alvarez, 2,000ths off with a 31.632. In 16th, Alan Dobbs going to be there in 17th, 31.659. Boomer Logan 18th, 31.744, and Matt Jonas going to be in 19th with a 31.783. To round out your top 20s, John Steele in the number 22, 31.801 for the man in that number 22 Chevy Camaro. Ryan Farrell going to be in 21st with a 31.961. Kyle Cooper is going to be in 22nd with a 32.065, and Luis Caballero has the final time lap with a 34.894. From there on out, we have a few extra drivers to go through. Stan Carlson going to be starting in 24th, Jorge Canales going to be starting in 25th, and Victor Avila Felix starts in 26th. Alan Rala going to be in position number 27. Randy Fiash going to be in 28th, and the final man of the order going to be 29th in the 63. It's Jim Fife, and that will be your starting grid for tonight's event, round 13 from the Kansas Speedway. And a beautiful track, 1.5 miles the circuit is, and it's always provided great entertainment on the channel and in the Integrity Racing League. We've seen this D-shaped oval before in the Ignite Series, and always a thriller there no matter the track, but Kansas brings out the best in drivers. Takes a lot in strategy, takes a lot in pacing yourself, and if you can't make all of it work together just right, you'll find yourself on the short end of the stick. The stands are getting packed in the virtual Kansas Speedway. We hope you sit down and watch this one. It's surely going to be a thriller as we get this one going. One driver goes off pit road, many going to be occupying it, and we currently only have just about, well, definitely less than 5 minutes, but in specific, it will be now only 1 minute remaining. Less than that with Tom Wetmore, the top man in warm-up, and right behind him going to be Caitlin Haight, 36,000 off in second. It's going to be Nancy Wetmore in chat. Thank you for stopping by. Great to have you aboard as we just get this one kicked off. Alan Dobbs makes it into pit road, and Ross Cato does as well. Wetmore right now still taking practice laps as the number 51 machine chases Bobby Ross down. Ross has the edge as the 51 goes down, and in this time through, gonna practice a green flag stop entry, and a bit of a risky one right there, but you gotta make it practice, because practice makes perfect. We do expect to see some long runs here tonight, as we have seen at many of the tracks on the schedule so far. So Wetmore locks that down. He could be one of the race favorites, as tonight is going to go perhaps into green flag strategy. And that's what it always gets the most exciting. Sam Nito down to the back with a multi-car pack, but it will be Tom Wetmore, the fastest man here in second practice. The 51 class of a second warm-up, and now we're on to your starting grid, and there's no turning back from here. 134 laps, 200 miles, and one great race. All ahead live on FTN. This is round 13 from Kansas, and Tom Wetmore leads us in warm-up number 2, but Seth Well will be the man who leads the field overall. Sam Nito already on the grid up in front. Next up going to be Seth Well right beside him, and the Nexus Esports machine is going to be first and second. Nito right there, you can see on the front end of his number 2 now representing the Nexus banner, and now Shelby Cobra lining up with Camaro. The first Camry goes down to Caitlin Haight in the 5th spot. It's bow ties and ovals up in front regardless of the placement of that number 11. Jacob Fife there. We're only waiting on a few drivers now, including Seth Well, but also Tom Wetmore, Colin Goodman, Ryan Farrell, Guillermo Alvarez, Luis Caballero, Stan Carnathan, and Victor Avila Felix. And as we get this one going, it is Jacob Fife now behind Seth Well. Let's get into it in style. The drivers get ready to grab a gear. All but 2 drivers are in the field so far, and it looks like all but 2 are ready to grab the gear and get this race on the road. Let's get to it now. The iRacing official pace car gonna roll off a pit road and lead them to 1 pace lap before the race gets underway. Seth Noel already in motion, and the rest of the field soon to follow. And as each and every driver makes their move onto the track, they know who they're going to want to chase all night long. That's the number 88 machine of Seth Noel. If you can keep up with him, you'll be in good standing to get the race victory, or at the very least, contend for it. He's been one of the best all season long, the likes of him and Tom Wetmore, Caitlin Haight in that bunch. They've been awful consistent, and if you want to win a race in this league, in this series, those are the big 3 to beat, at least at this point in the championship running. As they come down to turn number 3, the iRacing official pace car will give them a half lap before they get their goodbye and go on their own here in the Midwest. The STP banner in the back, all the banners lighting up this circuit, and the fans will be lit up as they see the drivers of the Integrity Octane Series make it down to the front stretch for the first time tonight. It's going to be Seth Noel leading the way alongside Sam Nino. Let's get right into this one. Once again, it's Noel leading the way. Green flag going to be out for Kansas Speedway. Let's go racing in Tornado Alley. Lap number 1, no problem, we stay green. Tom Wetmore going to be fading back just a bit, but Seth Noel keeps himself up in front in that first spot. Victor Avila Felix chooses to stay on pit road for the start. He'll be 1 lap down before the race even gets underway. They're shuffling in the mid-pack already. Big time maneuver from Don Stevenson, trying to take it 3 on the number 1 of Brad Patton and Joe Yates as well. Moving in the mid-pack already, the number 1 going to be filed out to the middle. McConey Setup Shop, the official supplier for setups on NASCAR and a proud sponsor of course, the NASCAR world. A supporter of FTN will be on McConey Entertainment for a Sunday night presentation of the 880,000 yards of bricks. I'll be alongside Jacob Reeves for all the commentary on Sunday night. It's going to be a great one, but tonight, right now, the number 1 machine representing Jeff McConey and the McConey operation. Well, he's inside the top 10 and battling with Joe Yates as it stands. Defending winner Nick Tarbuck makes his way down low, and Tarbuck, well, he's hoping to take the checkered flag and know he gets the win as soon as he does it. He has one win this season already, but unfortunately, well, fortunately it was a win for him, but not one that he got at the checkered. Seth Noel led him to it, but a penalty came around for the 88, and that means the number 4 won it after a review. So right now he's trying to get it fair and square and without any jurisdiction for the admin team as he goes down double file 2 rows deep. Tom Wetmore going to lead him in, and Ross Cato leads him high with Brad Patton right there in tow. Mid-pack going to be dicey too. Nicholas Ward, Majanis going to be side by side, and a throwback in the number 43 machine. Alan Rawell representing not the STP colors, the petty blue there as well. We've got another 43 in the field. That switched me up just a bit. I believe that's going to be Ryan Farrell. So Farrell tonight going to be shown in that number 43 petty blue machine. Allegiant, the sponsor there, and Petty GMS, actually Legacy Motor Club now, and the alliance with Gallagher Motorsports becoming more and more apparent. Maury Gallagher, the owner of Allegiant, which is of course one of the many brands that he's a part of, associated with one of the many sponsors seen on the colorful cars of Eric Jones and Noah Gragson in the real world. Petty blue, an iconic color for NASCAR in, of course, its infancy and to this day. But Kansas, one of the newer tracks, Richard Petty never quite raced it in the son Kyle Petty advantage for certain. And it looks like right now the 43 being ran well on the high side to try to get away from the 97. Nicholas Ward, he has the spot for now. Kevin Matt's now chasing, and he's got Jorge Canales right there with him. 6 laps through. Rawell goes up high, and we saw very early in our last race at Iowa, Alan Rawell came in with a burst of speed, got himself up on pace to the 3rd position, then fell off from there. The best race he ran so far, well, I think it was last week. He had a lot of pace early, and I was not quite sure where we go from there. He settled back into the top 15 range, but he certainly found himself early, contending for the win. He'd like to do it again. Let's see whether or not he can. Stepwell already breaking out of the lead on Jacob Fife and Brad Patton. The 43 stays high, and the 50's right there with him. Nicholas Ward going to be keeping in touch. The 97 has both drivers to defend upon, and now Ward has not one but two right behind his back bumper. And down low, Alan Rowell tries to take him, gets a fake out of him, but not a big mistake from the 97. He's getting pressure, but he's not going to succumb to it. He stays up high, knows he's going to block Rowell here with all that high side momentum. He uses it to his advantage. Now Allen goes right down low for the crossover maneuver. He gets it done that time by Canales, going to try to get in the move and make it a 3-wide middle situation for the number 84. No room that time by off corner exit, but getting oh so close, maybe too close for comfort, as we're now 9 laps into this one, and the top 10 guys are about single file. Noel is out in his own world right now. Last time by, he was 0.2 of a second quicker. Seth always has it dialed out at these 1.5 miles. He's the points leader in the FTF Light Series, which is a race and a series that happens just before the Integrity Ignite Series on Monday night. So he knows what it's all about with these next-gen machines. 1-hour races there, and they're not broadcasted, but he's made himself known as a top contender regardless of the publicity. And tonight he's showing it live on FTN. He's got what it takes to keep it moving no matter what. He's now a second and a 10th or so up in front of Brad Patton. Patton's made his way up to second, and we said he was right there in about the 9th place range last time we checked up on him, but it seems like now he's found himself in the runner-up position, the catbird seat, but he's falling further and further behind your leader. Nonetheless, good to be up in second. Jacob Fife, as we've said for about the entirety of this year, chasing the checkered flag. Last night in the Ignite Series, his championship hopes, well, they might have been diminished as he got involved with a very early incident, came home for 20th on the night, and it's going to take a lot for him to win overall. With a 300-mile race on Monday night coming up next Monday, it's going to be 1-2. Remember, May 22nd, mark the date for the 14th round as well, as Jacob goes down low, and he's going to try to go for the second spot just like that. We're riding aboard Brad Patton here, see if that quarter panel view comes into effect. It looks like the run will work, and he'll be able to stay in second at the timing and scoring line. Jacob has that side draft, though. It should be able to work in his favor this time by, and it looks like it's will. Tom Wetmore right down low. Now I'm going to be in the picture. It could become a 3-man fight for the second if Tom gets into it. That time by, it looks like Jacob Fife loses more momentum and is going to have to come right back up to the line that Brad Patton runs. Good run so far from the number 1 machine, staying up high, trying to choose a little bit of a different route compared to most drivers, and it's working out quite well for the time being. Stays in second, now goes right down low, crossing everyone else over. Good moves for him so far, and the number 1 machine and Brad Patton now keeps himself in second. Good defense there as now Caitlin Haight on the back bumper of Tom Wetmore sees Joe Yates fall down into 6th. And Yates had an awful lot of speed in qualifying, the fastest he's been all season long in the qualifying, and he was oh so close to the prestigious pole position, but right now fading back just a bit. Let's take a look on board and see what we can tell from inside that number 87. And upon immediate examination, not many drivers being treated well by that outside line. Sam Nito gets by quite easily that time through. He's got many drivers chasing him, the likes of which include Mountain Nick Tarbuck, Don Stevenson, and they're all filing down to that lower groove. It looks like Yates cannot get it situated down low, and that's going to be a major disadvantage as the night goes on. He's going to stay up high for now, tries to get himself right down low, but the Indy Autosport machine just does not have what it takes. And number 4 goes right down low once again. Don Stevenson going to be in the 9th spot now with Ross Cato in 10th. And Ross Cato right there with them, and Cato holds on quite strong. Ross going to be with Cody Smith. Look back, Colin Gibman there in 12th. And now Bobby Ross, the teammate to Joe Yates, finds himself in position number 14. Farrell keeps himself in touch, though. It looks like that number 93 machine has the edge on the 44 that time through, and the pack, it's as close as it gets right here in the battle for the top lap 15. Majanas up high. Guillermo Alvarez right down low, chasing Bobby Ross, and Ross held them that lap by. But Matt Jonas now has himself a bit of an advantage coming down the backstretch, down the American SNL backstretch. He has that power and gets it right by. Now Alan Rowell looking for a spot on his own right, looking for position number 16, and Bobby Ross fading back just a bit. Looks like that time by. The 43 gets in the wall, able to save it, but that could have been much, much worse. Jorge Canales gets contact as well. They all save it, keep it going, nice and smooth, and it looks like that could have been much, much worse, and the driver's able to avoid it. Nicholas Ward disconnected due to a hardware malfunction once again. The 97, been a fast driver, but heartbreaking lap after lap, race after race, as it seems like something, I'm not quite sure what, has caused him to disconnect for several races in succession. Sethwell leads by 2 seconds overall over Jacob Fife, and now it's going to be Tom Wetmore in 4th, and every driver to come through the stretch time and time again, just like that. Brad Patton down to the inside line. Let's see him go. It looks like he has that inside groove to himself, but Jacob will have a run off a corner exit. Let's see where he takes it. And takes it quite well, though. 36 gets the move on, and he's going to be able to make it stick that time through. Now, Brad Patton about a 1/10 of a second back. He'll have to keep on working for it. And right now, not much more to do but keep putting the effort in lap after lap. Jacob Fife breaks away to about a 2/10 of a second advantage that time through. There's still 2 seconds back on your overall leader. And now, Jacob Fife just about as quick, if not quicker. Good news for the 36 if it does hold up. Last time by he was quicker. It was a 32.3 for Sethwell, but a 32.189 compared to the best lap. Sethwell does have the fastest with a 31.666. Jacob Fife with a 31.781, but it isn't about being the hot lap hero in races in this league. You gotta stay together all 134 laps in this case, and right now Fife putting together just a bit of a quicker lap time after time. Still is just about 2 seconds back, though, on Seth regardless. Brad Patton goes down low. Let's see if he can chase Jacob in. Gonna take the middle groove, tries to get the best of both worlds. Nothing comes up at that time. Buys, then roar down the backstretch. And in his own frame, Sethwell takes him in nice and easy. The number 36 machine stays in second. The closest battle, not too far behind. It's Ryan Farrell and Ross Cato, and Cato keeps himself right there with the 93. Ross Cato on his fastest stretch of races as of recent has found himself up in front of the top 5, the top 10, even finding himself on the podium recently. And right now looks to be up in the contender range race after race. If this number 12 machine can string together some more consistent races, he might be a member of the playoffs at the end of season. Right now, it seems like he's only just about 50 points out, and actually that's going to be 50 points out of being locked in, but he is in the green right now, 62 points up on the man on the cut, which is Guillermo Alvarez. So Cato is good for now to make it into the playoffs. His consistency has been key. That is no exaggeration. This man has been on a roll as of recent, and the number 12 makes it work race after race, time after time, and now tries to make it happen to Guillermo Alvarez as Alvarez gets right by him. The 93 stays in 10. And side by side down the back this time by. Now it looks like Alvarez is a teammate as well in the side by side battle with Alan Dobbs. Down low, Jorge Canales takes him, and it looks like Matt Jonas has no choice but to stay up high that time through and continue to put down the offense. Kevin Matz goes down low, tries to make it work on Alan Dobbs here. The apron he takes it too, but not much more to do. He loses time and distance. Nonetheless, they're going to be side by side entering corner number 2. 3 wide with Matt Jonas and Kevin Matz could be troublesome. No yellow comes of it as I say 3 wide, and they do not have a wreck. Good to see everyone keeps it going just like that. We're still in this show. M23 through. The 84 machine chases down Joe Yakes. Yakes finds himself in position number 15. Only one retiree so far in Nicholas Ward, 7 laps down. Victor Avila Felix, 1 lap down, is still racing. But Boomer Logan now in a bit of trouble in the grass. He's sliding. One man going to be able to save it. That's Randy Fiash. And we have a first incident on the track. Not sure what it's going to be. It's a caution now. And it looks like we see our first incident of the night. How about that for the man in that number 19 and Randy Fiash? Let's take it back 50 seconds and try to get all the information about what just took place. Gonna take it back to the 19 and the number, well, the 84, no, the 94. And you can see Fiash goes just a bit high that time through, and they're gonna be side by side off corner exit. They're still good from this point, so we'll take it a bit further up, and you can see side by side now Stan Carnathan is with Boomer Logan. And then it looks like Bobby Ross loses a bit of momentum. That could have been a cause. It looks like they avoid him. Fiash goes all the way up, and he's going to ricochet right in to Boomer Logan. Both men going to go on the grass. That time by two-car incident. Everyone able to avoid it, but a safety yellow nonetheless. The 94 actually gets the worst of it here. Randy Fiash able to drive away and out of it, but Logan spins in the grass, and that will bring out your first yellow of the night. The man in the 88 leads the way as Boomer Logan and Randy Fiash are involved in your first incident of tonight's event. 25 laps in out of 134. We'll send it right back to the live feed live on FTN. It is Sethwell, your leading man, and right now Randy Fiash down to pit road. It looks like a good majority of the drivers, though, choose to stay out. Sethwell going to be one of these guys, and it looks like it goes down drivers in the back of the field. Take, for instance, Kevin Matz. He's still in the circuit. He's in 12th. It looks like drivers like Jacob Fife, who's 19th right now, look, he is going to be the first man in to the top 20. Only one driver will be with a new set, and Brad Patton on his way out right now. Does he get the edge on Jacob Fife? That he does not. Jacob Fife gets it through over Brad Patton, Alan Dobbs, and then Cody Smith there in 4th off exit. So right now, 19 drivers on the original stint will be Jacob Fife, the leader off pit exit with the new set of Goodyear rubber. 26 laps have gone by just like that, and Seth Wells led every one of them. It's going to be Tom Wetmore there in 2nd. Sam Nito is in 3rd, and right now, position number 4 held by Caitlin Haight. The winners are up in front, and that is for a reason. Success they've had before, it seems to transfer over time and time again to these intermediates. One of the most common forms of tracks here in this league. If you're good at one, you can turn out to be good at all. Expertise plays a large part in success for many drivers in this league, and for Sethwell, it is no kidding. As it stands, the number 88 machine finds itself out in front, 27 laps through out of 134. And as they come down to the start-finish line, they should be going green by lap number 30 at the very latest. Your first caution light involves Boomer Logan and Randy Fiash. It looks like both of which going to be okay. Minor damage, if anything. Boomer Logan actually still down on pit road here, and it looks like he's getting a bit of extra service as he did have some big-time contact. Randy Fiash still on the track right now, the number 19, as Logan still keeps himself in touching distance. He's still on the lead lap now, going to be back on his way. He'll be starting this one on position number 28. Nicholas Ward back on the track 8 laps down. He's in 29th, so 29 drivers still on the circuit right now. It is Sethwell, the leader of each and every one of them. Tom Wetmore holds on in 2nd. Sam Nito stays in 3rd, and it is Caitlin Haight in 4th with Nick Tarbuck in 5th, Don Stevenson in 6th, Ryan Farrell in 7th, and Ross Cato there in 8th. It's Guillermo Alvarez in 9th, and Colin Dimon in 10th, with Ori Canales in 11th, and Kevin Matz in 12th. Majanis finds himself as the last man in the Baker's dozen. Position number 13, and around number 13, the number 15 is. And this should be the one to green lap, and that it appears to be. Sethwell takes it down low. Tom Wetmore keeps it up high, so every driver chooses where they want to start this one, and it looks like the 88 chooses right down low. Sam Nito going to stay low as well. Caitlin Haight goes high with Tom Wetmore, and their double file once again getting ready to get it going one more time. From Kansas Speedway, the first restart of the night, 28 laps in, and now pit strategy is much different. A good majority of the field is on the first stint, staying on here for almost 30 laps, but some guys now, Jacob Fife, Cody Smith, Alan Dobbs notably, are on a bit of a different strategy. Got a new set recently, going to try to drill through the field at the stage break and go from there. We'll find out what they need to get that done, though. The race win might be out of sight with that method. It might be out of sight with the method of your leaders. We'll find out if it all hangs in the balance of one big pit stop later on, or if this is the decisive factor on every driver and their strategy. That remains to be seen, as the iRacing official pace car going to take them in this time by Kansas Speedway, going to be lit up by the sounds of motors once more. It's Sethwell, the leading man. Tom Wetmore still right beside him, and Sam Nito in 3rd as the pace guard is off, and the green flag will be out once again for the first restart of the night. Sethwell gets a monster cautioners start, the green flags out once again. And Seth Well, a phenom, getting his restart going. Now side by side for a second. That's Tom Wetmore and Sam Nito off the corner exit. They're double file, and so is Tarbuck with Ryan Farrell. So going to be a big shift of that time through. Many drivers go up, many drivers go down, and now Tom Wetmore finds himself up high, trying to put that momentum in to pass Sam Nito off corner exit side by side. The scoring loop, the 51 keeps himself in second. Sam Nito going to give him that spot for now. They're battling deeper though, and Tarbuck, Cato, and Ryan Farrell alongside Guillermo Alvarez. They're keeping it thick as they're double file. 2 rows deep, make it 4. Now Canales, Gidman, Kevin Max, and the like all try to join in, and they're all battling up in front, going for the top 10. They're all within range, and now Colin Gidman, the odd man out in that 04. He will be able to run himself right back in, though, on this surge of momentum. Side by side of the line, the Colin Gidman machine will be able to go right through, and Gidman, on a part-time schedule this season, has looked very good so far. Has had a lot of short-run pace, been up front with the best of them, but the long-run pace is still something to be desired. The 04 is brand new to this league. His first season here, and it still is one of his first few races, but he continues to improve, and he's one of the best to keep an eye out for as the season goes on. Mark my words here, you're only going to see better of this 04 as the night and the season progresses. The 04 goes right up high that time through, stays in 10th right now. Guillermo Alvarez is going to be side by side with Tarbuck for position number 9. That time through going to be for 8th, and Tarbuck falls down one spot into that aforementioned 9th position. Don Stevenson up high. Many drivers now using that high line. Well, your leader is not one of them. He's got a 3/10 of a second lead built up already in the first 3 laps of our restart. The number 88 is back out on the way. Tom Wetmore going to stay in second here, stays up high, and the momentum surge might be enough to chase down Seth Well and give him a run for his money. Oftentimes, it seems like Seth Well has it all checked out early in the going, but many of these drivers are great learners and visual learners. If they can get a good read on what the man in front of them is doing, they might be able to copy it and make it even better. Improvement, there's always room for it in racing, and right now the 51 exemplifies it. He's cut down the gap quite a bit. He's about a 1/10 of a second faster each and every lap at the pace he went last time by. We'll find out if it's true this time through. The 88 going to be the lap leader as he has been all race long. Lap number 34, they enter, led by Noel. That's a 32.376, and it looks like now Wetmore a bit slower, but he is getting closer and closer to the drafting range, which will keep them up in front, breaking away from drivers like Sam Nito and Caitlin Hayne. Now they're battling for 3rd and 4th as Jacob Fife is mired in the mid-pack, and he'll take it down low on Brad Patton and Don Stevenson for what feels like the second time. Deja vu, and the 36 takes Brad Patton right there with him. It looks like it's 8 wheels working together instead of 4. Side by side they go, and that number 36 is right there with him, toe-to-toe, but Brad Patton is a bit of an edge going to turn number 1. Make it 3 once again. Going to be an easy pass. Ryan Farrell going to be taken by 2 that time through, but Patton now has that high side working like no driver else. He was 7th last corner. He's now in 3rd, and Brad is moving. My, oh my. That number 1 machine might be able to put down the fastest lap in this stint. 31.909, and he's got new tires. This could be the gamble that works out for the stage break, and it looks like so far he is evidently the quickest man on the track. Cody Smith is going to be following him right now as now Patton finds himself there in position number 2. Gets by Tom Wetmore. Seth Well is next. How's it going to be? Passing the 88 machine. We'll find out now, and it looks like it's going to be a breeze. Brad Patton, your new race leader, and the number 1 machine goes to position number 1 just like that. 36 laps out of 134, and now Brad Patton finds himself up in front of this event here in Kansas. It is the number 1 machine leading Seth Well, Tom Wetmore, Cody Smith, and Jacob Fife, as we still have quite a long way to go. It is less than 100 now, and Brad Patton, his tire gamble might work out in the short term, and it looks like he's got a big gap to even the next man in Cody Smith. Smith going to be caught up between Jacob Fife and Seth Well, and now Jacob Fife follows him right through. Well, going to be losing spots, dropping like a rod, and these guys drop to the bottom of the track like it's hot. Second and third make it right by him. Brad Patton stays in first. They're side by side the line for a second. Jacob Fife now has a bit of an edge as they lunge into turn number one. Look back a bit further, they're going to be single file for the most part. Nicholas Ward getting a bit racy here. The back of the field looks to be mostly single file and a bit more dispersed than what we'd expect. Jacob Fife now 7 laps down. I think that's going to be his race, as right now that number one machine leads the way at full pace. 38 laps through out of 134. It's Jacob Fife up high in second, and now Seth Well trying to chase down the both of them has to defend on Joe Yakes, as Yakes has already taken position number 5. Yakes takes, and the Wetmore machine has to make do what he's got. He stays there in 6th, knowing these guys will come back to him in the long run. If, of course, we get a longer run, tire strategy will benefit the 51 in the next cycle immediately, but it could be the 87 who battles it back. Ryan Farrell on the wall that time through, no damage to any other driver. We stay green, and as Brad Patton makes it around to lap number 40, he is good to go once again. Great work so far for the man in this number one machine. Patton makes it so. It's Jacob Fife in second, Cody Smith in third, and side by side they are now for position number 5. Seth Well tries to take it back. He's trying to get there and getting closer to that end goal. My oh my, Seth Well holds on with the old tires better than anyone else so far, but it won't be enough, and Joe Yakes gets by this time for good. Ryan Farrell in a bit of trouble going way down low, defending on Don Stevenson. While Stevenson hangs on, that number 93 machine gave him a bit of a scare. Down to the apron, he keeps it going, and Stevenson is good to go from here. No incident, no damage, but Farrell knows that he's on a bit of a short leash. It looks like the damage might be accumulating, and we don't see all too much. The hood is popped up just a bit on the right side. That might come to bite him later, and it might bite him a bit worse than he'd expect. Side by side, Tarbuck is with Canales this time by. Ross Cato going to be right behind him, trying to pick up the scraps, but the 84 makes it quick and makes it easy. And just like that, Randy Fiash right now going to be in the 6th position, chasing down Seth Well. Your top 4 drivers are up in front on the new set. And right now, Seth Well only holding on to Randy Fiash. The rest of this field has been blitzed. And right now, Fiash on this strategy looking as fast as he has all season long, if not a bit quicker. And if the 19 can hold on to the checkered flag, this could be his first top 10 of the year. It would be great to see for the Fiash machine. We've seen him, of course, running in the top 20 range all season long. Not going to be able to break in that echelon, the upper echelon so far, but the next gens, well, they might not be all too kind to him. He might be finding out exactly what he needs to do. As 43 laps in, he's chasing down that 51. He got him, and now the 88 is the next man on the agenda as Joe Yakes got by for 4th, and now the top 2 battle, it is brewing. Jacob Fife getting closer and closer to Brad Patton, and the ever-invincible Seth Well fades big, leading many drivers to challenge for that first position. As they come to the line this time through, it is going to be the man in that number 1, Brad Patton leading them in, Jacob Fife in 2nd, and then Cody Smith for Next Level Racing in 3rd. You want to know what that means? Well, it's Next Level Racing promotional break time live on FTN. Next Level Racing, high-quality sim racing performance products for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best. We'd love for you to visit nextlevelracing.com. As a matter of fact, a new promotional deal out on nextlevelracing.com, and we'd love for you to have the word. If you're going out to nextlevelracing.com, be sure to use promo code Down Under if you live in the United States, and of course, if you can, use the Next Level Racing referee link used by the Integrity Racing League. It's a referral link, and you'll see it on their Twitter. It is referral code 5081. Dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best always choose Next Level Racing, and we'll be back after a brief break, courtesy of a proud partner of the Integrity Octane Series. And that was your first Next Level Racing promotional break of the night. Once again, nextlevelracing.com. High quality sim racing performance products for dedicated sim racers who want nothing but the best since 2009. Right now, Cody Smith carrying the NLR banner. He's in third as it stands, and 48 laps in. We're just getting this one started, and the 18 machine knows it as he slowly but surely watches the two drivers in front fade from his view. The 36 machine of Jacob Fife putting the pressure down on Brad Patton, and 48 in, 48 out. That number one machine has been one of the best all race long. Seth well led about the free of Ryan Farrell, a big spin for him, and we'll find out just what happened. Farrell around this time by. We saw him in a bit of trouble earlier on, and it looks like this one might have been a long time coming. An instant replay on the matter live on FTN. Let's find out just what happened to the number 43 on your screen. Taking it back 40 seconds on the matter, and right now, the number 93 goes up high. He got Jorge Canales right on his bottom, and as they come out of turn number 2 this time through, the 84 washes up high. Nothing so far, but they make contact down the back, and that's going to be the 43 machine on your screen. The 93 on timing and scoring, taken out and taken right back up. Thankfully, nobody hits him. That could have been much, much worse, though, and luckily for our sake, it was not. Farrell going to be good to continue competing, but just about 50 laps in, like now, many drivers, the likes of which include, well, Seth Wells. Someone has a bit of smoke on that exit of pit road. If they're going to miss it, I'm not quite sure who it was. Look up front, we see smoke marks, nothing indicating a wreck. And that's a bit dicey. We don't know who that was. Checking it back to the pit lane race, you can see Sethwell right there and Ross Cato there as well. Well, getting the 4 tires and fuel in that pole position stall. Will it be enough to come out first? Wetmore going to be on his way this time through. Tom Wetmore does not get it over Sethwell. It'll be Noel, then Wetmore, then Sam Nito, then Don Stevenson, then Colin Gibman. Then it will be Kyle Cooper, followed by the man in that number 44 in Bobby Ross. Then Ryan Farrell as Ross Cato stays on pit road for now. Looks like something wrong with that number 12, but 50 in to see throughout the race, and it could come down to many drivers from many different pit and tire strategies. That remains to be seen, though. As it stands, the drivers up in front are still the number 36 in second, the number 1 there in first. And then it's going to be, of course, Cody Smith in third. Joe Yates, position number 4 right there with him. And now Randy Fiash finds himself completing the top 5. A great run for Randy Fiash so far. Going to shine some light on this number 19 machine. Love to see many drivers having their chance up in front, and tonight it seems to be his. He's on a great strategy so far. He's been working the race well and very methodical about him. He's not been rushing it. He's taken his time, and now this caution has him up in front, just outside the second row in a restart for the first time all season long. Fiash looking real good out in front. Great to have him here. And now in 5th, with Guillermo Alvarez chasing, he should be able to run away from at least the next 8 guys right behind him. It's going to come down to drivers like Seth Well and the like, though. Now, a big disparity between tires and their ages. Brad Patton takes it down low. It's double file already once again as the iRacing official pace car lets him loose at lap number 53. And 2 cautions through, and strategy, it is big time mixed up. Now, we still have a stage break to mention, and that's going to be coming very, very soon on the agenda here. 13th round of the season in Kansas has not been without its incidents, this time by Ryan Farrell, caught up with the number 84, Jorge Canales. Not a major wreck. The 43 got cleared, and that might have actually saved him as he went down to the infield. That did not cause any damage, so great for him in that regard. 54 laps in, which means our stage break would be 1 lap after this restart. Not quite sure that's going to play out. It'll be 1 lap and then another, so a green-white checkered before a stage break is what is scheduled to occur. We'll find out what it does, though. That's going to be really exciting to watch, and it shifts up the whole dynamic about who wins. And Patton gets a major jump this time through as they come through turns 1 and 2. Patton out in front by 3/10 of a second. Then it's going to be Jacob Fife in second, side by side with Cody Smith here. Now Fife going to be in the move in that number 36. Trying to get bonus points here. Lap number 54 on the horizon. It is right next up and that 36 stage, and it's going to be the number 1 machine who gets them down to that mark. 1 lap left, and the number 1 machine is in position number 1 for the first and only stage break of the night. And as they come down the back, he still has that advantage. It's going to be Cody Smith in second, Jacob Fife in third, and Joe Yakes in fourth. Fife takes it a bit down low this time by him. Not more he can do. Every driver up in front remains high. And at the end of the stage, the number 54 machine, it is not here, but at the end of lap number 54, the 1 machine finishes in first, and the yellow flag's out once again. Stage break, and 55 in, it is Brad Patton, your first stage winner. How about that for the number 1 machine? And now, Brad's going to be on a mission from here on out, winning your stage. No caution for cause, but that's our 3rd caution nonetheless. And now Patton has a chance to keep the bonus points and go from there. Reevaluate his strategy and perhaps improve upon it, as now guys like Tom Wetmore are making their way up through the field. Wetmore finds himself in 8th position after 5 laps on 10th. Don Stevenson in 11th. And these drivers are now making a surge up in front. And with this surge in mind, Tom Wetmore going to be the man who leads the new breed. Brad Patton leads the first stint's drivers and the overall drivers on the first 56 lap set. Guillermo Alvarez and Jorge Canales 5th and 6th respectively, holding on strong with a 5th. Take the entirety of the field down with them, short of 1 driver that looked to be Kyle Cooper. The rest of these guys come down and in without hesitation. And now with many drivers coming down pit road, it could be the money stop here and now. 56 laps in, many drivers have a shot to get back on the same strategy. And Brad Patton leads himself in. He'll have guys like Seth Well coming to the pole position stall though. And that number 88 now going to stay out, as a matter of fact. So that's up. This could be a big change in how this race is run. Your pit exit camera going to be shown on frame right now. Alan Dobbs already on his way. Who's going to be able to come out first? It looks like Dobbs wins off pit road. Then it's going to be Brad Patton, Cody Smith, Jacob Fife, Guillermo Alvarez, Jorge Canales, then Joe Yakes, and Caitlin Hayde. There's going to be Victor Avalafix, Luis Caballero, Kevin Matt, Ryan Farrell, Boomer Logan, and finally Matt Jonas in this mix. And Jonas will be scored in position at number 24. A few drivers choose to stay out, Tom Wetmore one of which, only getting 2 laps in on his set under green. So now strategy going to be wrapped under a blanket of only 7 laps of a disparity. And Tom Wetmore, the tiree so far, not due to an incident. And now the 60-51 of Tom Wetmore leading, with Seth Well in second, Don Stevenson in third, and Colin Gimmin in fourth, with Bobby Ross holding strong in position number 5. Front, who knows what's going to happen between them, a combined 4 wins. That's one of the highest combinations between any group of drivers, and it would have been 5. Of course, Nick Tarba gets that win in Iowa due to an admin review of the final restart and the way it was executed. However, the 88 machine still has a bit more in him for a second win, if not more, and he still has more than 15 races to get to that point. We've got about 2 races before our summer break. It's going to be Sonoma up next, then Charlotte Motor Speedway, before we head to our 1-month summer vacation from June 6th to July 4th. We'll be back from there on out with North Wilkesboro up next. Here we go again. The iRacing official pace car dives in this time by. It's going to be Tom Wetmore leading and Seth Well in second. The green flag's out, lap number 60, and restart number 4 is going to be in effect. And to welcome stage 2, Tom Wetmore gets a great jump that time by. He's about 3/10 of a second up on his competition, namely Seth Well, and the rest of the field going to follow in suit. Colin Gimmin going to be right there in the 4th spot. Right now, it's Kyle Cooper up high, though, going for 4th, and Cooper has a lot of speed right now. That number 73 machine, he has not been up front thus far, but he has shown flashes throughout the pack, and now he's got that clean air he can work with, and it might just be his ticket to potentially a victory. victory. That number 73, he knows he wants one. The mid-pack, it is the most clustered it's been all race long. It is now that indeed, and they're all shoveling off corner exit in tandem. The American Ethanol backstretch tangles me up for just a bit, but these drivers entangled in one another's lines. 3 wide they almost are between Patton Dobbs and Brad Patton's there with Jacob Fife. And you can see off exit, Brad Patton has it again. Patton's been quick. Now he's mired back in traffic. That could be hampering him. We'll see what he can do to try to get by some of the drivers up in front. He knows he has pace, but now he has himself in the mix with many drivers who were up there battling for the lead. With all this change in the tire strategy, Brad Patton still has one of the newer sets. We're not quite sure how big the advantage would be. It's only about 7 laps up, and with the cautions we've had within the last 12 laps, doesn't mean as much as you'd think. 2 yellows in the last 10 laps, 1 caution for the cause, and 1 stage break. And now we're back at it once again. Your top 2 drivers pulling away. It is Tom Wetmore leading still, but Sethwell right now hot on his heels. And as they come off corner and exit, that number 88 holds on strong, goes right down low. Double file they go, and the 88 goes right down low and finds himself in lead all over again. Tom Wetmore going to be there in second. Don Stevenson is in third, and it is Kyle Cooper now in fourth as they battle 3 wide in the middle of the pack there. That's going to be Tarbuck in the like. Guillermo Alvarez right in front of the battle. It's Tarbuck. It is Cody Smith, and it is Brad Patton. And Patton takes him 3, and he's been one of the most aggressive drivers all night long. And yet again, Brad makes it stick. 64 laps in, he can do no wrong. Patton up to 8th, and he's still got a long way to go, but he's making it work time after time, lap after lap. And with all this being said, Brad Patton still has quite a few drivers to go through. He has Guillermo Alvarez, who's now out in front, and Alvarez currently is the fastest man out of those on new tires. However, Patton's now out of traffic, and that number 1 machine is now ready to unload on the field. Alvarez now going to be in 7th, chasing down Colin Gidman in 6th. He's currently about 2 seconds off your top 2 men. Brad Patton has none of that. He has no patience. He wants his position now, and he's about as close as it can get before he makes a move, setting up his shot before he goes and takes it. And as he goes up high, that momentum's going to be a big surge, and he's going to come off corner exit with much more speed. That time by Guillermo Alvarez, going to run a 31.691, and it was Brad Patton who ran a 31.598. So that number 1 machine's much quicker. 10th after 10th, he's chipping away and looking to get right up. There's the top 2 drivers have broken away, and Seth Welm now losing a bit of time to that Tom Wetmore machine, and now Wetmore is in good position to perhaps go for win number 4. 66 laps in, getting closer and closer to your halfway point, and as they come down the line once again, it's lap number 67 now, and the number 51 holds on nice and smooth. As a matter of fact, cross flags will wave this time by, and the halfway point, we've reached it. It's been exciting so far, but what's it going to take to come home with the win at the end of the day? We're not quite sure. 2 drivers, alike in talent and ability. They're both out in front. It's Don Stevenson right now in 3rd as Colin Gidman takes a deep on Kyle Cooper. And now, Colin Gidman coming into his own. He's now there in 5th on the older set of tire. It's working out well for him. And now, with only a total of just about 67 laps remaining, that number 67, he's not here, but the 73, not too far behind in lap numbers. Getting closer and closer to lap 73, and he's still in the top 5 for now. If he can hold on to Brad Patton, maybe he'll be able to keep it, but it looks like Patton simply has too much pace, and the rise of the man on new tires are now in session. Brad Patton going to be in 6th. He has to chase down Gidman, Cato, Stevenson, them the top 2 if he wants to make anything of it. Seth Well, right on the back bumper of your leading man, and it's getting dicey in 69 laps in. Been a nice run for the both of them. What's it going to take to come out with a checkered? We've said we don't know, but we might know when it comes out to take the battle with you side by side. They are not just yet, but it's going to be a bigger lunge for Seth Well that time through. And Seth Well has found himself dialed in every time he get a long run. Wetmore, one of the better long run guys as well. So it's a very fair match as they come down the line. It is once again the 51, the leader, but the 88 cutting him no slack. You got to be on the job when you're racing Seth Well. That is for certain. Can't slack in the moment. And right now, with all that in mind, the number 51 machine has to keep on pushing as the quarter panel is where Seth Well goes, and now he's got a room. That number 51 holds on up high as the National Guard. Number 88 tries to put it down there. Newell's going to see that the 51 guards his spot. And as they come through, it's the trial where they make it to. The 88 gets so close to making the pass. He doesn't complete it, but he does get real close to making it so. Side by side, it looks like Seth has the advantage that time through. And now, the 88 machine might just find himself in the lead. However, down the backstretch, they'll be dead even side by side. Double file they go once again. And as they come down to the inside, the 88 just gets closer and closer to making the pass. Not going to be able to make it through this time, though, and double file they stay as they come out of corner exit. It's your leading man, Tom Wetmore, and Seth Well, while close, does not hold on for much more than a lap. And now Brad Patton is in third. Look out for that number 1 machine. Don Stevenson goes right down low to try to make something of it, but not much can be done. That number 1's now on a great run, and coming down the back stretch, the 47 just has to concede yet another. Ross Cato now going to be in the mix as well. Guillermo Alvarez getting closer to the taking, and the number 1 of Brad Patton only about 2 seconds out on your leading drivers with 63 laps remaining. That time by Tom Wetmore ran a 32.147, and it was Brad Patton with a 31.938, 0.2 of a second a lap faster. And at that pace, he'd catch them by lap number 83, so he should be good to go to get to them at this rate if he can keep it up. Now, tire degradation, it affects everyone. Brad Patton only about a 1/10 of a second or about a half second off his overall best pace, but Wetmore and the like are about a second off of what they can do at their best. So right now, that number 51 machine and the 88 as well, they're both at a big disadvantage in the long run. We'll see whether or not that long run comes into play. We've seen quite a few yellows breaking up the action. Of course, our stage caution, the most recent at lap number 54, but since then, we have gone green, and guys are getting more and more spread out. Ross Cato battling right now with Guillermo Alvarez as they come through. It is 61 laps remaining. Ross Cato keeps himself right down low in 5th. It's Guillermo right now in 4th. And he'll be double file up corner exit once again, but Alvarez has a high ride run, and he'll take it down to the stripe as the man who's advantageous. Ross Cato keeps him honest, but not much more he can do. He's now down to 5th. And the top 2 drivers, while breaking away from everyone else, see Brad Patton getting closer and closer to the rear view mirror. Take a look on board with Seth Well right now. That number 88 has to focus on 2 things at once. Goes down low to the inside line for the lead, and while he does have the edge right now, Wetmore gets it right back, and Brad Patton, while a blip on the radar now, they make contact. It could be Brad Patton making more and more time up. He's a blip in that radar, but check the dedicated rear view mirror segment of our onboards, and Patton's much closer than he appears. Objects may not appear in the same scale when you're looking through a meter. We know that well from real driving, but right now in the virtual realm, it's the same exact principle. Wetmore holds on in first. Sethwell is of course in second, and Brad Patton's now within 1 second of your leading man out in front. Guillermo Alvarez is going to be in 4th right now. It looks like the top 10, 15 guys are single file. Victor Avila Felix now has some pace, and he's in 14th, looking to put together one of his better races on the season. He's up in front of Joe Yates right now, looking to chase down Alan Dobbs, and racing with great contenders like Alan Dobbs. A good sign for this number 27 operation, and it might be his best race so far. As he now takes that spot, he puts himself in 13th. Good job for this number 27, slowly but surely working his way right up. His teammate in the Luis Caballero machine in 20th, so carrying the torch for their team right now. Great work in it as he's gone methodically through as well. Bobby Ross going to be side by side with the Alan Dobbs machine, and Bobby Ross has been on a bit of a hot streak as of recent. Several top 10s in a row, one of the best to do it as of the last few races, and slowly but surely establishing himself as a league mainstay for Indy Autosport. Down the back, now the 43, the 93 on your timing scoring has the edge, and Ryan Farrow gonna take him deep, and he's gonna take Jorge Canales right there with him. It's the 50 and Kevin Matz who breaks this battle up and makes it a 3-wide showdown, and the 3-wide affair now in effect. Right down low, Bobby Ross goes, and he'll keep himself intact, but he will be able to lose a spot just like that 56 laps in, and we look back up front, and now it's a three-man battle for the lead. Look who's in session. It's Brad Patton, and Bad Brad now going to be right behind the second place man. Make it side by side, and with 56 laps to go, the new breed is taking over, and it looks like this 7-lap advantage was good enough for him. Number 1 takes it to position number 2, looking for one more, and he's got him in his sights. And just like that, Seth well in a bit more trouble than we'd anticipate all race long. The number 1 machine of Brad Patton has found his way up in front and is now working these guys overtime, and he's now made his way into the second position. Seth well going to send it deep down low. Does he have anything for him? It looks like that time by he gets close, but no cigar. Even Guillermo Alvarez makes his way around, and he's bringing Ross Cato right there with him. Now Cato in 5th does not have the big advantage the number 83 and number 1 do. He's only about 1 lap newer than your guys up in front, but he is still quick, and he's ripping that high line. My oh my. Take a close-up look through the corners here with our close-up drone shot live on FTN. We'll see exactly how the number 12 is doing it. And as he now follows the Seth well machine, he goes up higher. He's in a higher groove than the 88, and while the 88 tries to conserve distance, it's all about momentum. But Ross Cato goes down low, as they all do, down to almost the apron. Cato stays on the banking, tries to get a bit more momentum. Momentum is his biggest principle that leads him to success. Gets right up to the top seam and then puts the power down, chasing the guys up in front on new tires and chasing Seth well. Well is slowed that time by, and now Ross Cato has an opportunity to go for that spot. Does he? Yes, he does. Ross Cato now fighting for the 4th spot as Guillermo Alvarez stays in 3rd. Brad Patton stays in 2nd. But Tom Wetmore has been able to manage himself up in front quite well. He is still in 1st, and 52 laps remain on this circuit, and it looks like the number 51, despite the mounting pressure, has kept himself up in front, and 0.2 of a second is the bubble that Brad Patton sits at. He got by all but 1 driver, and now the last man will be the trickiest. We'll see whether or not he gets him by, as only 52 remain. You gotta see it before time runs out. And we have seen drivers run up to 50 laps on their tires, so that is not going to be an issue. We only expect to see at the very most 1 more pit stop on the night. Guillermo Alvarez goes down low. That time by makes it right back up high. He's putting pressure down on the number 1 machine to move. And now we've got a 3-car race for the top spot on the board. Brad Patton keeps himself right there in the 1st position, and it's going to be now the 1st position for the new tires, as overall Wetmore still keeps him honest. Side by side, they are behind him, and it is going to be a big-time battle between Seth well and Ross Cato. Cato fights tooth and nail, gets the spot. Now he's in 4th. And their leaders are now beginning to battle each other as Tom Wetmore slowly but surely builds up a gap once again. Yellows out with 50 laps remaining. And just like that, the yellow flag flies for Alan Rawell. Let's find out just what happened live on FTN. We'll take an instant replay and see what just caused this one as Alan Rawell makes his way through with Randy Fiash and the number 43 machine right behind the 19. This is going to bring out, I believe, yellow number 5 here. 4th yellow for cause. And the 43 dives it deep on the 19. No contact there. Rawell racing Fiash down. And as they come through, nothing much yet. The 43 stays alone. Fiash goes down low, and it looks like they're avoiding another driver here, and that would be the man in that number 91 teammate. So Caballero's okay, but Victor Avila Felix is far from that. We'll take it back a further 20 seconds to get further analysis on the issue. Let's take an instant replay live on FTN, and he's drifting it by this point. You can see it was contact with Joe Yakes here, and that's going to cause the slip and the slide. It's a good drift, and Ryan Farrell is able to avoid it phenomenally, but that is the yellow regardless. A safety yellow, that could have been much, much worse, but no other driver involved. Exquisite car control from the 27, and great work from every other driver to avoid the scenario there. And then Avila Felix goes in the wall. I actually don't even think he hits it. So good work all around, but still the worst scenario for him, losing more time, losing more track position. And we'll head back to your leaders right about now. Live on FTN, Victor Avila Felix brings out your 5th yellow of the night, and he's down at pit road alongside the likes of, well, not Jacob Fife, but the rest of the field. And now they all come in and take their places on pit road once again. And the pit exit camera going to be shown on your frame. That's Seth Well out in front of it. Sam Nito going to be in second on pit road. Pole position stall held by the 88. With drivers on their way already include Tom Wetmore. Wetmore wins over Brad Patton, Guillermo Alvarez, Ross Cato, Don Stevenson, Cody Smith, then Tarbuck, then Caitlin Hayden. Then going to be Alan Dobbs with Kyle Cooper, Colin Gibbon, then Jorge Canales, then going to be Ryan Farrell, Sam Nito, going to be Ryan Farrell, who we saw him beforehand, alongside the driver in, it looks like, Stan Carlson. Bobby Ross going to go with Luis Caballero, Randy Fies, Seth Well, Alan Rawa, Majanis, Boomer Logan, Joe Yakes, and it looks like the 22 of John Steele follows Avila Felix and Kevin Matz. So Jacob Fife risking it right now, I believe, to lead a lap. He's 30 laps into his pit strategy run. Not quite sure what the end goal will be for him, and I don't think it will be feasible for him to stay on the track. That's the case. He comes down pit road this time by, so no worry. Jacob Fife will not interfere with the battle up in front. It's going to be Tom Wetmore leading once again, 87 laps in, but a great run so far. The man in that number 51. Incredible power he's had in that machine all race long, and your top 10 now comprises of Tom Wetmore, Brad Patton, Guillermo Alvarez, Ross Cato, Don Stevenson, Cody Smith, Nick Tarbuck, Caitlin Hayden, Alan Dobbs, Kyle Cooper, and finally Colin Gidman. Only one retiree on the night so far. That's still Jim Fife. The rest of your drivers are still racing. That's a count of 28 still going at it. Live on FTN, the Integrity Octane Series never disappoints. And another great car count with only a few races remaining in the show. Before our halfway break, power, it is still on all race long. Aggression is high, but these guys are as calm and collected as it can get. Great car control from Victor Avila Felix there. He was all out of sorts and did not hit anyone or anything, and that's what you love to see. He was running real well earlier in the night, and it looks like caught up in a bit of mid-pack action, and while he was caught up, he was not caught out. He'll be able to continue driving. Not going to be enough, however, to keep that track position. He is the cause of the yellow, so he'll lose the spots regardless. Nicholas Ward, 1 lap down as is, gets back on his way, and I do believe he'll stay 1 lap down for the time being as he came down pit road once again. And Tom Wetmore is your race leader as it stands. Of course, in the second spot, it's Brad Patton. Guillermo Alvarez in third. In your front row comprises of 2 former race leaders. It is incredible the power that number 51 has had. The Chevys have had something going quite well in Seth Well and Tom Wetmore alike, but the Blue Ovals are battling back right now with drivers such as Brad Patton and Ross Cato, both up high. These two have it all working out so far, but they're going to have to come down to the checkered flag with that momentum. We'll find out if they can keep the power down and keep the pressure on, or if it's all going to succumb to another driver. And with 46 laps remaining, it's anyone's game as we head back to the green flag racing at lap number 90. Let's get right in with this time by. That number 51 on Tom Wetmore holds on strong. It's going to be Brad Patton in second, right there with them. The tires, they're equalized. Every driver on the same strategy now. The game plan, it's shifted, and it's going to be all about lap after lap pace and not the difference in your tire. Green flag going to fall once again as it's going to be caution number 5 leading to restart number 5. Let's get right back into it. Tom Wetmore leads the way once again in Kansas. And a great start for Tom Wetmore that time by, once again able to put down the power, get it in front of Guillermo Alvarez, Brad Patton, they are in third, and now power going to mix with precision as Ross Cato goes right down low, all the way down to the apex, being surgically precise, trying to get every inch out of the track and the car. 2 cars going to follow each other down low. That's Alvarez and Patton there, and while they chase down Tom Wetmore, now the field has been equalized on tires. The Goodyear rubber might not affect the drivers as much. With 44 laps remaining, that remains to be seen, though. Down low, it's going to be Ross Cato. It's going to be Nick Tarbuck there as well. Don Stevenson now makes the move in fourth, and he's going to try to take that pass down on Brad Patton. Side by side they are for the final spot on the podium as they come off of corner number 4. It looks like Don has a slight edge, but it's going to go back to Brad Patton after further review. Guillermo Alvarez having the race of his life so far. That number 83 machine now in second, and it looks like the power he had, that speed he had, it was not a fluke. Putting down a great race so far in the second spot with 43 laps remaining, and he might just have what it takes to contend with Wetmore for the rest of the night. 83 goes to the top spot now, but it's going to be Tom with a great surge off the exit to make it dead even. Alvarez goes down low, Wetmore stays up high, and Tom leads at the scoring loop, but only by 51 thousandths of a second. Up high, the 51 stays. Alvarez going to keep it there in second. It's Brad in third, and the 47 of Don Stevenson holds on tight. Not tight enough, though, to be in the podium battle, but he still is there in the top 5. And right now, thick battling throughout the entirety of the field. Seth Well finds himself in 16th, chasing down drivers such as Stan Carlton, Sam Nito, and Bobby Ross. My oh my, it's been a great show in the middle of the pack as well. And now 88 Machine, who's been a contender all race long, finds himself at the bottom of the barrel. And he's going to now slowly but surely try to work his way up. It's always competitive here in the Integrity Racing League, and even if you find yourself in the bottom of the pack, you can slowly but surely work your way on up, and it seems like now he's doing just that. Fighting hard with Stan Carlton here, Bobby Ross there as well, Sam Nito in the mix, and multiple race winners fighting in the mid-teens. That just goes to show how tight the racing is here. You can have one great race, then fall back a bit. It's all about your strong suit, and right now, 95 laps in, Tom Wetmore's strong suit is leading this one over Guillermo Alvarez, then Brad Patton in third, Don Stevenson in fourth, and Ross Cato in fifth as Alan Dobbs fights side by side with the Next Level Racing machine of Cody Smith. And Next Level Racing, as always, high quality sim racing performance products dedicated to those who deserve nothing but the best for their sim racing needs. Use promo code DOWNUNDER to ensure you get 10% off your order on nextlevelracing.com, and we'll be right back after a second promotional message courtesy of nextlevelracing.com. And that will be your second Next Level Racing promotional break of the night. Cody Smith for Next Level Racing holding on to position number, I believe now going to be in about the 5th or 6th spot. Fading back just a bit deep in the battle. Positions are changing and changing fast as Smith finds himself in the 9th spot. Now the mid-pack's getting racy, and so is the battle up in front. Right now, Guillermo Alvarez leads by half a second. They're 3 wide right now. Seth Well makes it through. And Well, from 17th last time we checked on him, is now in the 9th spot. And he's gaining more and more. He is driving with his heart, and he's taking it wherever he needs to go. Down low, he's been able to make a great pass on these 3 drivers as they keep battling. Io Cooper in the middle, Cody Smith up high, and Sam Nito right down low. And Tom Wetmore fading and hits Seth Well. Yellow flag is out. It's the big one at Kansas. Big hit. Kyle Cooper, Alan Dobbs, Caitlin Haight, and then Matt Jonas. Big hit and big time action. This is the big one at an intermediate. My oh my, 99 laps in, and the race has just shifted. And for many drivers, it shifted for the worse. Let's take a 30-second replay and find out just what happened. I can't believe this one. 51 machine right there up high. And Brad Patton makes contact. And then the 51 goes right back up top. That's Tom Wetmore. And then Wetmore goes down, tries to straighten it out. He's on the brakes. Dobbs swerves and destroys his car. Then Samuel hits him. Cody Smith gets out of it alive. Caitlin Haight gonna get a bit of a backhander there. Then Stan Carthen, Matt Jonas, then Jorge Canales. And the 91 of Caballero gets just a bit luckier. This is intense, and it takes quite a few in it. The 73 gets smashed up on the front. Caitlin Haight gets some damage, able to get through for the most part. Now, with so many out of contention, it becomes debatable to see what we're going to see. Oh, what a hit. And that's just going to add insult to injury here. Victor Avila Felix pulls down. Caitlin Haight gets hit again. And I think Tom Wetmore might have been one of the guys who got the worst of it. My, oh my. And this changes it all over again indeed. The complexion of this race, with 35 laps to go, it has shifted. As we send it back to the live feed on FTN, different leader. And right now, that leader is Guillermo Alvarez in the number 83. Don Stevenson in second. Ross Cato in third. And 34 laps remain for your new group out in front. And now, with this being said, many drivers involved in that one down on pit road. And it looks like Boomer Logan is done for the night. It looks like Seth Wells indeed done for the night. Logan got out of the car for just a moment. Now he's back in. But Seth Wells is indeed destroyed. 3 laps down in the big one here. Any driver is going to stay down there. Caitlin Haight has damage. She's staying there. Jacob Fife on pit road. Many destroyed front ends. And Alan Dobbs, well, his is visible. Alan Rowell done for the night, and now many retiring at once. And damage playing a critical role in the very tail end of this race. It's been strategy, and it has been chaos. My, oh my. Something about this one has caused the best of some drivers and caused the worst of some drivers to come out all the same. Intensity and chaos all alike tonight, as the 13th round of the season has brought out some cautions that we did not expect. Almost a track blocker there, and many drivers caught up more than once. 33 laps remaining here in Kansas, and the playoff complexion going to be shifted greatly as the night goes on. Now, we'll read off what we have before tonight got in its procession, as many things are due to shift as a result of the way this race has gone. And you can see on your screen right now, Tom Wetmore is locked in. So is Caitlin Haight, Seth Wells, Cody Smith, Cody Griffin are as well. The Cody's there with Sam Needle and most recently the winner at Iowa, Nick Tarbuck. Ross Cato, Jacob Fife, Don Stevenson, and Brad Patton are all in. And Guillermo Alvarez is looking to get himself out of the bubble and get into the locked-in zone. Almost there. It could be a win tonight the way he's been racing. Guys like Ryan Farrell, Kevin Matz, and Alan Dobbs all very close, but not just there when it comes to being in the playoffs. They're getting real close, though. It could happen if they just keep up the momentum and the power they've been going at within the most recent racing. Now, if you want to keep up with us, we got a lot more on the channel besides the Integrity Racing League. As a matter of fact, right now we're streaming with River Page and the Highline Racing League Texicon Truck Series at 9:30 Eastern they begin. And on Thursday nights, I'll be presenting the Highline Racing League Premier Series with many drivers from the Integrity Racing League there as well. Saturday nights we're double booked, and on Sunday I'll be working with McConey Entertainment on Twitch, and Jeff McConey, the owner of McConey Setup Shop, the official simulation racing setup partner of eNASCAR. So a great partnership we've got over there, and right now these drivers are partnered up, double file, ready to get this race back in motion. It's Guillermo Alvarez who looks to be the late race favorite to get this one done. How about that? 32 laps remain. It'll be 31 when we go back green. And Kansas coming down to the wire. That is for certain. As they come off the back, it's Don Stevenson now in second, and that number 47 machine has shown glimpses of top 5 speed. He's been, for the most part tonight, in that top 10, but now in the catbird seat, and perhaps his best opportunity to win, he'll have to go all out to get the checkered flag, and that number 47 from second now will have to compete with a man who's been the fastest for the past 25 laps. That might not be a lot of time, but the momentum is far more in the favor of the 83 than it is in the 47 or any other driver. Restart number 6. Let's get in the mix one more time around. The iRacing official pace car leaves us, and the 83, he's going to take us in. The green flag's out once again, and the Geico restart zone is passed, led by Guillermo Alvarez. And exactly to start, that number 83 machine needed, able to keep himself in first. It's Ross Cato in second, then Don Stevenson in third, with Ryan Farrell there in fourth. Now single file down to the guys like Brad Patton and Nick Tarbuck. Tarbuck now has Cody Smith going to him, and they'll be double file right now, and so is Ross Cato with Don Stevenson chasing down second. The first man gets the big jump. Kevin Matt's now going to be able to take it 3, gets close to the 84, and while he does get blocked, he does not cause a wreck. Good to see there, as now the 27 and the 91 are racing up in front. And when we saw Luis Caballero last, he was in 20th. Now he's in 9th, and he's made his way back up in front in contention, with Joe Yates going out on his inside line trying to take the penultimate spot in the top 10. Yates in 10th, the 91 is in 9th, and Galen Kidman stays in front of the both of them, chasing down the rest of this pack. Don Stevenson with a quarter of a second of a win here in Kansas, and he desperately loved to have this one in his hands, as right now Alvarez begins to run away with the prize. 29 laps remaining in the 83 will not be denied as it stands, and he comes down to the backstretch without much more to say. He's just going to let the racing do the talking, as the number 1 of Brad Patton goes right down and in. It's Ryan Farrell now in 4th, and they're side by side, Nick Tarbuck and Ryan Farrell, only just as Don Stevenson now takes it low and tries to steal the show from the 83. Alvarez holds on that time by though, and it might be a while until Don Stevenson gets a shot like that again. Don takes it down low once again. That's going to be the second shot he's had within the last lap, and he's within 0.2 of a second. It is progress for him so far. It packs as racy as ever. Luis Caballero getting right there in front of Joe Yates, Jacob Fife, and Kevin Matz taking it 3 wide once again. And Fife has the edge, and it looks like he'll be able to stick to it, getting them all by with 27 laps remaining at the stripe. And now with so little time on the mind of these drivers, it looks like we will not be seeing any more pit stops on the track. 21 laps, many drivers are on that same stint. Jacob Fife right now in a 7-lap-old stint, and he is booking, already able to make his way up into 10th, chasing Caballero next, and he seems to be about as quick, if not quicker, than these drivers in traffic. And when he gets that clean air, he's that much faster than anyone we've seen. Within the last 20 laps, he now has the big advantage that could carry him all the way to the checkered flag for the first time this season. And now Don Stevenson finds himself a quarter of a second off of Guillermo Alvarez. Alvarez on a 22-lap-old stint. Last time by ran a 31.677. Stevenson ran a 6.88 in the decimals. They're close, but it seems like the 83 has no comparison so far. In a good way for him, as he keeps it out in front with 25 laps now remaining. Single file there are going to be, for the most part, take it back to guys like Boomer Logan and the Nicholas Ward machine. And Ward, from several laps down, from 8 laps down, is now back up in front. He's in the 14th position and chasing down 13th if he can get by that number 94. He's not been able to do so far, and does not look to have that time by. But the battle rages on, and the 94 now has himself behind that 97 Coors machine. Logan stays up high. They're using very similar lines right now, as it looks like very few are able to keep it multiple lanes wide for a multiple long period of time. Multiple laps of multiple wide racing have not been seen all too much, but 3 wide Jacob Fife's taken it all few 2 times, many for a few drivers, and they might not be happy about it, but it is working out quite well. And that number 36 now going to be there in 7th. Ross Cato in 6th. Nick Tarbuck is in now the 5th spot, and the number 4 machine chases down another throwback in Ryan Farrell as they slice and dice through, making it 23 remaining with Guillermo Alvarez out in front. And as the battle rages on, we're going to set it down next lap by to our, as always, 22 lap to go. Crank it up, courtesy of TriCams22.com, the best cameras on the iRacing platform. If you enjoy the action, well, be sure to check out their link in the description. TriCams22.com for all the action and the best cameras on iRacing. We love to have you aboard on their program. The best cameras, always updated year after year. And they're the place to get them, live on FTN, courtesy of Track Cams for Gourmets. We'll crank it up with 22 laps to go, brought to you by TrackCams22.com. and make that 18 laps of racing remaining here in round number 13. And Guillermo Alvarez continues to pull away. Don Stevenson holds on strong in second so far, but nobody's been able to catch that man in the 83. Brad Patton now in second though, and as soon as we mention it, there's a pass for position. Brad's going to be in second spot, Don goes down to third, and Ryan Farrell maintains fourth as the top 6 guys are up high, single file, slowly but surely gaining a major advantage over the rest of this field. How about the action up in front? 83 machine has held them all in check all night long, and it looks like Alvarez has continued to put down the power, put down the speed, and last time by, he was about 1/10 of a second faster than the guys right behind him directly, except for Jacob Fife. Fife right now is about 1/10 of a second faster than every driver in this pack, and with 17 laps remaining, he could go at half that pace and still catch your leading man. Fife's on a newer set of tires by about 15 laps, and he has a big advantage, and it is now beginning to show. Side by side with Ryan Farrell, gets him that time through, and now Jacob is in the mix with Don Stevenson for third. And while Brad Patton might be the expert tonight on holding on to a tire length, it is Jacob Fife who finds himself the best in the business tonight at getting the strategy down perfectly. Bobby Ross right now in 9th on the same strategy. Boomer Logan is in 10th. But that number 36 machine with now just about 15 laps remaining finds himself much quicker than their leaders and quick enough to give them a late race challenge that was least expected even 10 laps before. No other drivers within 2 seconds on strategy that Jacob Fife has if they're running it, and Jacob is in his own class right now. He just needs to finish this off and school the rest of these drivers for his first win of the year. He stays up high on Don this time by trying to learn from the best of them and go right down low. Takes the momentum and uses that extra grip in the Goodyear rubber to make the pass for third. He does not have it in the scoring loop, but he'll have it this time by into turn number 1. And Don tries to hold on. That time by, though, Jacob Fife gets it. And now Brad Patton battles with Guillermo Alvarez for the remaining portion of the race. And Brad Patton's been an ace at holding on to tire length all night long. If there's anyone you want to battle with tire wear, if you think you're good at it, take Brad Patton to the test and see how good you really are. This number 1 machine now finds himself real close to the checkered flag. And he's now getting closer and closer to the man who's right in front of him, stopping him from taking this win. A Baker's dozen to do it, make it 13 laps remaining, and the checkered flag will fall in the favor of one of these men up in front. Will it be Guillermo Alvarez? Will it be Brad Patton? Could it be even Jacob Fife? Or will it be one of the drivers laying back right now as Nick Tarbuck now fights side by side with Don Stevenson for position number 4? And now Jacob Fife on the back bumper of Guillermo Alvarez and Brad Patton. Notably, Brad Patton now being pressured quite a bit. That number 83 machine has still one driver as a buffer. But when that buffer is used up, what will you do as a driver in this situation? Well, it is all up to that 83. Not panicking is a big thing. Don't respond to it until you have to. And defensive maneuvers could work out against you. Jacob Fife down low for second. And now Fife's in position. One more position to get the win. Down low, Jacob Fife takes him. Guillermo Alvarez tries to make it happen off momentum. But at that time through, Jacob Fife was about dead even at the stripe with your leader. Brad Patton goes up high to get into the scoring loop, but nothing more can be done if Jacob Fife just keeps the power down here. And off a corner exit, Brad Patton actually does have a minor edge, and that might be it. With 11 laps to go, Jacob falls back a spot, and just when you thought he had all the pace, now Nick Tarbuck is in the race. He's only 0.6 of a second off with 11 laps remaining. It's still within the 1/10 of a second lap, the pace he needs. And that might be the move. And with 10 laps to go, we'll get this one right out your way. Your final Next Level Racing promotional break of the night. NextLevelRacing.com, high quality sim racing performance products, and the champion of the Octane Series at the end of season gets a sim rig worth $2,000. Courtesy of Next Level Racing. We'll be right back and bring you all the action. It's just getting started live on FDN with round 13's conclusion. And that will be your final next level racing promotional break of the night. Make it 8 laps to go, and they're 3 wide behind the leaders. But right now, it is Guillermo Alvarez being chased down by Jacob Fife. Fife is within 1/10 of a second that time through. And the number 36 is in the mix, that's for certain. As the battles behind are intense, this is the place to be. Up in front, position number 1. Guillermo Alvarez still has it, but will he be the man who has it at the end? It now is not all too certain. They're dicing it up big in the back, but the leading battle is as tight as it gets. And Jacob Fife goes right down low. This time by Guillermo Alvarez, going to be side by side the stripe, and Jacob Fife has the edge. The 83 machine holds on. He knows this could be his only shot to win this half of the season. Stays up high as they come through turns 1 and 2. Jacob Fife right there with him, and they come off the backstretch with power. Fife gets moved. Not going to be a turn though, and the 36 now begins to put the power down and try to run away from the 83. Stays up high, make sure he gets a better exit. Gonna make it a bit of a diamond arc even though he's up high, and it does keep him out in front. 4 cars in a blanket. Now Brad Patton chases down Alvarez for a second. He goes down low. He'll take that spot, and Nick Tarbuck wants to make something of it as well. Brad Patton now down low, gets the second spot. He isn't clear for it though, and now Nick Tarbuck gonna have to help the cause if he wants to make it happen. And now the battle is as fierce as it can get. 6 laps to go. 2 drivers trying to take more from Alvarez. Will Alvarez even remain on the podium by this rate? I'm not quite sure. This is about as intense as it can get, and Brad goes right down low, gets blocked, and he might have to go up high. It's going to be double fake out that time by with 5 laps to go, and your leaders are now in jeopardy of some hectic racing. Back in the pack, though, you can see Don Stevenson is a 4-car battle right behind him. It's Farrell, Cato, Bobby Ross, and Boomer Logan, and they're 3 wide once again. These guys have had no quit all night long. And while Logan does concede for now, these 2 up in front have been side by side for several laps. And they continue to be as they come down the line once again. Ryan Farrell has the edge that time through. Jacob Fife leads, but now the battle for second persists. Fife first. 3 cars right behind him, though. They could make a move. They could pounce at it at any moment. And only a few laps could decide who comes out in front and who ends up on a wrecker. Brad Patton still chasing down Alvarez. They're on the same stint of tire. Jacob Fife, he's on his own level right now. He's on a 30-lap-old set. Boomer Logan is as well. He's in 7th, and that will be Logan's best finish if he comes home in that spot. Jacob Fife with 3 laps to go, chasing his first win of the year, and to relieve the heartbreak of last night's racing at Pocono, this will be the perfect remedy. Make it 3 this time through, and he now has himself a lead of 3/10 of a second down the backstretch, this time by no competition thus far. Brad slowly but surely working his way up to a run on the man in second, but Alvarez holds on as they come through turns 3 and 4. Jacob Fife, position number 1, make it 3 miles remaining with 2 laps to go as they come down to the start finish line all over again. Lap 133, not without its action, and now Brad Patton is right there on the back bumper, charging up his last chance at the move. He goes down low already, and he has a big run. Does he take it this time by the wanted Goose machine? Wants to take it, but a layoff for now, and then make it late. A late dive by Brad Patton. They're side by side all over again. Down the line, it's going to be Patton in second now, and Nick Tarbuck now has one final chance to pick up the scraps as Jacob Fife leads us to the last lap here in Kansas. As they battle side by side in the second spot, Jacob Fife, he's been looking for his first win all year long. Took a few races away, took a few weeks away to welcome the birth of his first child, but now back in the sim and looking to prove that he's still got what it takes to come home a race winner. Out of turn 3 and 4, the number 36 machine has no competition and will make it all the way unscathed. The number 36 machine, the pro powder and paint, Jacob Fife returns to victory lane in 2023 and wins the 13th round of the season in Kansas Speedway. Tornado Alley sees a twist of fate, and the twister is Jacob Fife back on the top spot this year. Jacob Fife wins, and Brad Patton gets second over Guillermo Alvarez in a photo finish. What a race it was out in front as Fife looks to make it down to the front stretch to burn down the house. Jacob Fife back on top. What a way to win it for the number 36. And after last night's race in the Ignite Series, he gets the next-gen breath of fresh air and finds himself in the top spot for the first time all year. And Jacob Fife gets it done over Brad Patton in second by half a second, with Guillermo Alvarez in third in the number 83. Next up, getting Nick Tarbuck in fourth, defending a great run last week with a position number 4 finish overall. Don Stevenson rounds out your top 5 with Ryan Farrell in 6th, Ross Cato in 7th, and Boomer Logan from 18th to 8th, his best run so far. Bobby Ross holds on strong for the 9th spot, and Nicholas Ward makes it so in 10th after disconnecting early and going 8 laps down. Then it's going to be Cody Smith in 11th, Galen Dimon in 12th, Jorge Canales in 13th, and Luis Caballero in 14th. Kevin Matz 11 seconds down, finishes in 15th, and Randy Fish comes home in 16th. Had great speed early in the going with Stan Carthen in 17th, Victor Avila Felix 19th, and Alan Rowell in position number 19, a bit of a miscalculation as Avila comes home in 18th, and Joe Yakes is there to round out the top 20. Then it's going to be John Steele in the 21st spot, the last man to lead lap, with Caitlin Haight 1 lap down and Kyle Cooper 4 laps down, and the retirees going as follows. 24th, Tom Wetmore. 25th, Matt Jonas. Alan Dobbs, 26th. Sam Nito, 27th. Seth Weld, your pole sitter, in 28th. And finally, Jim Fife in 29th as his son, Jacob, gets to bring home the victory and take the checkered flag. Let's watch his burnout uninterrupted. And there you have it, the number 66 machine of Jacob Fife burns it down after his first win in 2023. And this one's gotta feel good. How about that, Fife on top? And tonight he had it going all his way. At the very end, a race of strategy and a race of speed. And at the end of the night, Jacob Fife, you come home with your first win of the season here in the Octane Series, getting it done in round 13 at Kansas Speedway. How do you feel after this one, winning in such dramatic fashion?
Man, it's pretty awesome. I have to tell you, I thought I really screwed myself. I pitted in the first stage there, which left us with one less set on that last longer run we had. And I stayed out the earlier caution and was the only one to do it. And as soon as that happened, I was like, I'm just so screwed. So luckily we got one more caution after that, and I was able to pit then and I just had the tire advantage at that point. We made our way through the field, and Tara Buck made it really hard to pass, and we got to that top 4 and started battling. And I just had a little bit fresher tire. It's really hard to win these things, so I'm super stoked to get the win tonight, and be able to make it into the All-Star race and all the stuff that comes with it. I'm pretty stoked, able to keep my win streak, yearly win streak going too. I think I'm up to however long we've been doing this. I think 11 or 12 years, something like that. So it's pretty awesome.
And awesome to see you back in victory lane. And tonight, tires were a very crucial factor, and you had the perfect strategy there. Not a lot of drivers chose to copy you on that one, and you seemed to be in your own class at the very final run. So what led you to that decision? Because it proved to work out very well.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't want to, my last set of tires I put on at the stage break, or I had only one set left from the stage break, is what I should say. And I really didn't want to put him on with 50 laps to go. I'm like, if I put him on here, then I'm at where I'm at. So if we have one more caution, everybody's pitting, and I'm not winning. So I wanted to save that set, and it was a risk. If we had a long run, I'd have been lapped, and I'd have been up a creek. But luckily, the cautions kind of fell right. I was able to pit and get the fresh tires and make my way through the field. And I know some guys had a pet set of stickers sitting in the pit lane still. So one more caution comes out, they get their set, and they're golden because even I think you're talking 5 extra laps or something like that made a really big difference. And how, not really pace wise, but how you can maneuver. Can you go from the top lane and cut down under somebody and get a run that way, or hold a line or something like that. So it really was a big deal tonight. So yeah, I just really lucked. I was shocked that nobody stayed out with me. That one caution there with 50 to go, I thought a few more would stay out and save their last set, but luckily it worked out in the end. And I was basically battling me not to screw up at the end. So it was, like I said, I'm really happy to get the win here.
And back on top to lock yourself into the playoffs as well, the 36 finds itself winning before a road course trip to Sonoma, California. Up next, we've only got 2 races before our summer break here, and now as a winner, you don't have to worry all too much heading into the road course in SoCal. What's the game plan going there?
Yeah, I mean, the rest of the year is really just to have fun. I mean, we were really talking about, you might have to win to get in the playoffs. Only 12 make it this year. And you got a decent amount of winners so far, and then you got guys who are really competitive, who don't have wins yet. So it's a real, as different people start to win more, it may only be 1 or 2 spots left for those last couple spots for non-winners. So to get that win tonight is super important, and just really excited that I'm able to do that. Go have fun at Sonoma. I could be as fast or as slow as I want to. We'll see which one we get. And just go have fun. So it'll be nice to do that and kind of be knowing where I am for the rest of the season, as we, like you said, as we head into our summer break in a couple weeks.
And it looks like putting all the pressure behind you before we go to the road courses. A winner in Tornado Alley, Jacob Fife. When it comes down to the race at Kansas, any final thoughts anyone else you'd like to thank after this victory?
Yeah, definitely thank you guys for putting on the broadcast. I'll have fun going back and looking at that at the end of the day. Then thank my sponsor, Pro Powder and Paint, who sponsors my car as well as the series. So thank you to them and all their efforts behind that. And then, of course, our sponsors with Next Level Racing. They're currently running a promotion. If you want to go online, they have 5% off of their products this week. So you can. We also have a link on our social media pages to where if you use our link plus the 5% off, with Down Under being the passcode there, you get a discount on your products and you help the league out in supporting them as we get a commission as well. So want to thank them. And it was a pretty good race overall tonight. So I'm glad everybody made it out. And yeah, thank you for everything.
And a great race for Jacob Fife to come out on top. The number 36 wins in the 13th round of the season here in Kansas Speedway. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, man. Have a good night.
And there we have it. Fife going to be on his way. The second man on your podium going to be Brad Patton in that number 1. And we mentioned it on the broadcast. Tire strategy was a big thing. And for the man who went 47 laps on that last stint, a good majority of the field did. But nobody had the speed quite like you to hold on to it, to hold on to that second place finish. So how do you feel after this one coming home second in Kansas?
Man, I feel so good. Finally, I got a top 5 finish. Well deserving. I worked my butt off in the car. I mean, me and Tom making contact there at the end, bring out that last caution. We were not trying to do that at all, and we just went for the same spot, I guess. He got a little loose, and I moved up and got into him, and he got into me, or vice versa, whatever it was. I feel bad, and he does too. So I'm going to throw out an apology for what happened there. But other than that, the race was good. I thought I had good, strong pace. I usually run pretty good here. I'm a high line racer. I love running the high line. It seemed like the high line was prevailing more than the bottom was. And when I tried to run bottom, I just couldn't get it to stick. Or if I did get it to catch down there, I just felt so slow. So I just said, you know what, the rest of the race here, I'm just going to run high. We had a good battle. We had a lot of good battles, and fortunate to come out P2. I'm pretty stoked.
And some great battles all night long. And from the start of it, we saw you were clawing through the field, and you had a lot of pace regardless of how shifted the strategy was. And for a good majority of the race, the strategy was really up and all over the place. When it all came down to about one or two different specific sets, you were still about as fast as ever. So what really clicked here? Because it seems like you're one of the very few who had this one down all race long.
I would say, I don't know so far as like with the car when I was just experience at this track, but my race strategy changed 3 times throughout this, and like with pit strategy and whatnot. I went down during that first caution, and I didn't know if that was a good idea because there was only like 5 of us. But then we drove through the field. I ended up getting the stage win. Thank God. I got some bonus points for that for the playoffs, which would be good. Yeah, this race was pretty crazy, and getting involved with the wrecks, and then still being able to have speed, and then figuring out that you could shift into 4th gear there at the end, and that allowed me to get by Guillermo. So, I mean, all in all, it was a great race. It was some good battles. I mean, like I said, I'm stoked. I'm happy I finally got a podium and get to chat with you again, Dave.
And a great podium to come through with. Now, we've only got 2 races before our halfway break in the season here. And next up is going to be a road course, Sonoma, California. Always a very exciting one. And with a lot of momentum behind you here, what's it going to take to convert success on the ovals to something just a bit different, you know?
I'm going to have like Keegan Leahy drive for me, or one of those DWC drivers. I am horrible at road courses. Watkins Glen, I'm pretty good, but man, Sonoma, I am not looking forward to. I might take a provisional. We will see how the day goes. But I want to maintain my top 10 points overall. I want to get a win eventually to get myself locked into the playoffs. But right now, I'm pretty sure cut wise, we're good on points. It's just I am not looking forward to next week. If it was in a different car, maybe, but this one, I don't know.
But despite that, you were able to make this one work in the next gen at an oval. 2nd place in Kansas, heading into one of the trickier ones on the schedule. So with that being said, Brad, any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank after this podium finish?
I'm going to give a shout out to my team, Wanna Goons. They brought me on and gave me a nice little backbone and a little bit more confidence going into it. I'll give it a shout out to Freshen Up Energy. It's a hydration company that's pretty good. It's just like all those other ones, except for a little bit better. They got better taste. FPS Heaven and Maconi Setup Shop for coming on board with us this year to provide setups and help out. And thank you for the broadcast. I'll thank Jacob, Don, and all them for running this league. Like I said, I've been in this league for 10 years, and I was away from it last year. Missed all my boys in this league, and I said, you know what, I'm going to come back, make my return this year. So that's what I'm doing. Having a blast, having a good time. It's good hanging out. Man, these boys can drive, and I'm just happy right now.
And a great return season it's been for Brad Patton yet again on the podium tonight. A 2nd place finish for the 13th round of the season here in Kansas. Thank you for your time.
Hey, I appreciate it, buddy. Have a good night.
And there we have it. Brad Patton going to be on his way. We'll get the final man on your podium here in just a moment. Guillermo Alvarez going to be 3rd on the board. Now, as it stands on our end, he is muted and deafened, so not quite sure how long we'll hold on here. It does not look like that 83 is connected to wherever his center is for communication on Discord, where all these guys hang out, have voice chats and whatnot. He is not currently there actively, so we'll try to hold out for a few minutes here and see what we can get. If anything, we'll shut this one out in just a few minutes. Look, he's ready to go here, and a first podium on the season with a lot of speed. Guillermo Alvarez, 3rd place on the night. How do you feel after this one?
I just needed a cushion in the middle after that last yellow. So that would have been decent and probably could have won, but you can always get what you want. So P3, that's decent, strong, and I'll take the points.
And a strong finish it was indeed, and you seem to have a lot of speed on that final run, ripping on the top side of the track for the very last segment of it. And it looks like a lot of guys on the same strategy, and you were simply one of the fastest. So what kept you up there compared to the rest of the field?
Well, from the start, I was running on the bottom lane to save tire. Then, as the run progressed, you really have to move, because if you don't jump to the outside, somebody else will do, and then you are done. So for the last 30 laps, I was just pushing on the outside, seeing who was going to come. So I know that Jacob had the newer tire, so that was the difference. I knew I had to pit. Just I didn't know if I had enough time or if the cautions would fall at the right time. So that was the difference.
And tonight, all about making the right moves at the right time. We're the best to adapt to the circuit here, and that's what got you here up on the top three. Now, next up on the schedule, we're going to deviate from the road or the ovals, and we're going to head to Sonoma, California for a road course special. Going to be 55 laps there. What's it going to take to command, of course, the 83 machine back to the podium in California?
I think that's an easier road course for me, especially with this car, because I have either despise this thing on a road course, or it completely kicks my ass. But I am expecting it to be a lot different from what it was at Circuit of the Americas, because that was just a terrible race. So many incidents, so slow. I expect to have a little bit more pace this time around at Sonoma.
And it looks like second time around might be the charm for a better result at a road course, but nonetheless, tonight, Guillermo Alvarez, you come home in third after a hard-fought battle up in front at Kansas. Any final thoughts? Anyone else you'd like to thank after tonight's podium finish?
I'd like to thank Jacob, the whole league, the admins, and this mediocre Manco group we have with a bunch of Mexicans.
Well, there we have it. Guillermo Alvarez getting it done for his team, Manco and Motorsports, and coming home in third, leading the field in that team. And one of the best Chevys out tonight, the 83 podium finish. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, guys.
And there we have it. Alvarez on his way. Gotta thank him for that one. It's Guillermo Alvarez in third, and overall, it's Jacob Fife, the top man at the end of the day. Jacob Fife wins the 13th round of the season, and that will be all live on FTN tonight in the Integrity Octane Series. Gotta thank y'all for watching a great show here in the Midwest, and we'll be back Wednesday night. Well, with nothing, unfortunately, but Thursday night we'll return with the Highline Racing League Premier Series as they head into yet another great race at Kansas Speedway, coincidentally as well. Gotta thank y'all for watching live on FTN tonight. I've been your host, David Kreutz. Thank y'all immensely for your support, and we are oh so close to 1,000 subscribers. So if you enjoyed this one, be sure to leave a subscription. We'd love to have you aboard. Thank y'all for watching tonight, and we'll be back very soon. Your support means the world to us, and we thank you for your time tuning in. From our studios at FTN to your homes, support means the world, and we'd love to have you back whenever we're live on FTN.